Paula. Joe. Press up, please leave the building.
Whoever's last, do they have to be here at 6?
No,
Okay.
no, we don't have
But
that.
how does it work then? How do each person
So,
gets 10 minutes?
if you arrive, say, around about 7:15 or 7:45, something like that, if you want them to be last.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And what I'll do, can you put me down for 4?
How you go for? I'll go 5, please.
Put me down for anything, Louise.
You put me down for 6 then, Louise.
Good job.
Leython.
Louise,
Yeah?
Fion's got to come a long way.
So I've got to go further than Fionn, so, and I've got to mess about with public transport.
I don't mind just swapping the name down the road.
Well, if Theo wants to go 5, I don't mind swapping.
What? How long
No,
10?
5 to 8 minutes.
Oh, 10. It's just
I don't mind going last. Makes a change because no registration and everything in schools and colleges and whatnot. I'm always home at first.
If I went first then,
Is everybody okay?
yes,
Nothing you want to ask now, no?
So I've got to be here before 6.
No,
Really?
you
If I'm
6.
in at 6.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just basically you do normal.
Oh,
You
bless.
think it's normal.
That's why I'm here for 6 o'clock because I'm
Yeah.
leaving.
It's harder really for
Okay, good luck to everybody.
Thanks.
I'll probably be might be me next week. Okay, bye-bye. Bye.
Yeah, but you made a really good point though. I'm going to take a point. Look at the answer.
What I must admit, I struggled with all them conversation one today. It's not so much as it seems so wrong, it's just my brain
I
just
seem to do that.
would not accept
I didn't pick up on the thumb,
It's just-
I know that's what
eh?
says about it, I didn't see her do that.
I
Because she went like that, food.
As I said to Louise, I
And they
kind of pulled a sickie today.
she went food like that, and I thought, that's bad.
Matthew?
What's that?
Okay.
I will get the bus in next week. We can't stay, can we? To make your own way beforehand. We can't stay around anyway.
What
It's
time
two
do you
being
be
behind me.
here?
We don't want to be, I don't want to be.
What time are you here?
Yeah.
I don't be stressing out trying to get in here.
Well, this is
I
it.
can wait till you work early anyway.
No. It goes too quick. I won't be able to follow it as well.
How long do they go for?
So it'll be similar to that. And it's a multi-choice answer, mostly. I know it is a little bit, different signing for you there, wasn't there? She did that, didn't she? I say 4 years ago, I signed 4 years ago, that's the difference there. Did any of you catch that at all? Did you just guess on that number? Yeah, you saw the number 4. So did you see just 4 on her mouth? So you went for 4. Good. So put a 1 in there if you've got 4. And then that's it. So where were they going? France. She did that slightly differently too, didn't she? I do France like that. She did France slightly different. But you could understood it. Brilliant. Give yourself a point again. What was the name of the partner? What was it? Mike. So if you got Mike, give yourself a point. It's easy before you see it, but I was just going to ask me a name. So so concentrate on that finger spelling. Try to get it. So you've got the N there straight away, so that helped, isn't it? Mine was all N. How long were they there for? What was that one?
Yeah.
She finger spelt that she was very crafty, wasn't she? She tricked you. I always do. Friday to Sunday. She finger spelt Friday to Sunday. Clever girl. Did anybody get that?
Oh, did you? Look at you
Good.
today.
Good.
That's right.
When did they go? Which month? May. Fantastic. What was the weather like? Cold and raining, and then it's sunny and warm. Good. Lovely. Perfect. Doesn't matter if it's English. Doesn't matter if it's English structure. You've written it down. That's fine.
So rain and sunshine, what would I get? So I get anything but just what we call.
Ella.
I've got cold and rain.
I got cold rain and frost and sun.
It's interesting because in the story, maybe if you'd seen that there, so you need to think, looking to see what the weather was like now. Raining, windy, cold, and then warm later. Try your best to put as much as you can. Because that's obviously linked to the weather. But that would have been fine. That would have been fine. Yeah. Put one. It's okay.
Can I have half? So it was cold and rain and France was warm and sunny.
Very good. Yes, you can have half of that.
It was descriptive.
You know, I really don't know what they would decide on that, but I'll give you half.
Thanks.
Eurotunnel. I would do Eurotunnel like that, but she finger spelt it again, didn't she? Eurotunnel. Yeah, but Eurotunnel. She's a bit crafty, this girl. It was Eurotunnel. So if you got that,
They wear the yellow pedal, don't they?
Car. Dry winter, dry winter.
She said she went to the car and
Yeah.
they went to stop.
Yeah, I
That's
did.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw him do the car, but I thought it was kind of very
Yeah. It wasn't very clear.
Yeah, you've got to get 67%.
Yeah, it wasn't really very clear, that part, because it's not exactly how you do it, is it? Anyway, it was car.
What was it?
Car. So, how long does it take to get to France? 30 minutes. Brilliant. Why are they going there? Yeah, for a romantic weekend.
Oh dear. Yeah, I didn't think I'd put the title. I just left it.
Oh, is that the title of the...
Yeah. I was trying
Clues
to
in the
think of
title.
everything in the thing. Like,
It was a title of the
yeah. I didn't think that. Oh well.
It's all together.
Got one more to go. Got two more.
Sorry, I'm rushing. I'm ahead of myself.
Crack examiner.
was awful.
fantastic or excellent.
Yeah.
I'm not too bad.
Yeah.
Eiffel Tower, good.
If I just put tower down, that would
For some reason I thought of a mountain.
Paris.
It's like,
That's fine.
One tower in Paris.
Tower, yeah.
Tower.
Top of the sea.
So you easily pass.
oh, I got 7 out of 12.
That's
Yeah,
92%.
Sorry, say that again.
What, 6.5 of a pass?
Might
7's a
just.
pass. I don't pass. Failed.
So all that effort to get a half.
Can't believe you did that.
How many did you get, Steve?
Two.
I failed as well.
Hmm?
I failed.
Just,
There was
You'd
some
be
that I wasn't
borderline.
sure about, and I was even probably borderline, to be honest.
Might take quickly.
10 is
that.
fine, 88%.
Do they take into account the fact that some of the signs are different?
These have 62%.
62% across and 67
Yeah.
with 8.
I know it's quite unfair in a way,
Yeah.
but the board themselves have discussed this, and they expect you at level 1 to be able to get the gist of that story, to be honest.
Well, I got
You know,
5
they won't
wrong,
use
and I
Scotland
just
or
passed.
Ireland regional
Just 4 wrong.
variations, because they use things
I got
like that
7.
for the days of the week, so they're not going to use that. They wouldn't accept, the board wouldn't accept using that only in their own Scottish assessments. Ireland do their own signs for days of the week like that, so they wouldn't use that. But they would expect you to be able to fingerspell days of the week, for example.
On the actual test, is it 12 questions or is it?
Yes, exactly the same as
Yeah.
that. Always 12.
Okay, again.
Yeah, so well, we'll post it and they will let you know. I'll check it, I have a good idea obviously. I'm pretty confident who will have got it and who perhaps won't, so. Dave just saying 2 weeks ago, level 3 receptive.
What did you get for?
6.5.
So I felt in my mind that 3 people had failed, but when actually they came back the results, there was 2 had failed.
For that.
I was right with the 2, but I was quite surprised that this one person had actually passed. So it's not, you know, it's not always my decision, of course, with receptive. I have a good feeling about things, but they might decide something different. So, yeah, sorry.
Like on that one, I thought it was one thing and I crossed it out and then I tick again. Are they gonna, if we like mark off?
Right, that's a good question. The rules are, if you rub it out and tick something, please put your initial on the one you've run out. You know, if you initial it,
Yeah.
if you rub something out, put your initial, in case they think somebody else has done it. Maybe you might have given it to me and I'd have thought, oh, I like that student. I don't want, and they'll think it's me that's done it. You know, so please initial it yourself so that they can see there's no cheating been done, if you like. You are allowed to rub out and you are allowed to cross out, but please initial it if you do.
Are there any online sources that you can suggest that might have other exercises like this so we can practice?
Yes. GLLM, Glum, library, level 1 or level 2, whatever, and there's lots of signing there.
The mock exams.
No, it's still done. Lady Titan.
Yeah,
The obvious thing.
Including the title.
8. I go. 7, sorry.
And same with this one, you know it's a weekend, so it's whichever is 3 days.
Yeah.
Yay!
Common sense.
Yeah. I always have to pick the hardest.
Leave it blank though.
Oh, I can never do that. I have to get it right, I don't.
Oh,
really? Matthew's just saying that on the 13th of June there is the Deaf Club in Wetherspoons. It might help you if you could get along to that and watch the signing going on. Yeah, Susan did know. Yeah.
What date was that?
13th.
The 13th of June, Saturday, 13th of June. Matthew's saying he's done his level 4. So I'd just like to go and have a chat. And a drink.
Level 1's drunk.
Oh, then. Is that a C before library or a bracket?
Just
Oh,
library.
oh, right, okay. Thank you. The bracket.
What's that license?
Yes, you can access it through your email. And there's some stories, face-to-face, Andrew. Also, you can use YouTube for finger spelling. Quite a lot of good finger spelling clips on there with names and questions on there. So you can practice your finger spelling that way. Holidays, sweets, finger spelling sweets. Different activities on there, quite useful to improve your receptive finger spelling.
It's just the same question too. It's just
YouTube,
website,
finger
it's
spelling.
just what we've done, what you can
Helps you practice receptive finger spelling.
You know that you said it takes 8 weeks for the certificate to come. Does it take 8 weeks to find out if we've passed overall, or do we find out sooner?
I think you get the full. Just all comes at once. I can tell you about those other 2, but the third one is their decision, and then obviously it all comes together. So this is an example of your narrative. So this is this person, the student, and I won't ask any questions. I'm the assessor in this particular part now. I won't ask any questions. I might clarify once. Right, sorry. She's not allowed to question David. She won't be questioning David, but he will question her. So for us about a minute, we have a warm-up session. Just relax and get used to each other, you know, again. Usually we talk about the weather, just for the first minute. So please finger spell your full name. Pick your topic, which one? Me. Come here, just a voice over. And if you want to ask any questions, please will you put your hand up, and then Paula will sign it to me. Because I'm going to sign pretty fast now, so you know, it's just for your benefit really. We're just going to be looking at the assessment process. That's the priority that we need to look at today. So I've told you already the dates. Okay. So we're going to talk about each assessment in detail. This is the receptive one. So you'll watch a DVD, and I'll have 4 people coming in at a time, 1, 2, 3, 4 along there, and you know, I'll have about 3 or 4 in the back that's smaller, but this is a bigger area, so I can have 4 in here, and then 4 will go out and the other 4 will come in. Okay with that? So when the group arrives, if you all wait up there, and there'll be an invigilator there who'll check everything's alright and that he'll send 4 of you in. And then when the 4 of you have completed your receptive assessment, you leave the building. You don't go out to talk to the other students. You can meet in the pub afterwards, of course, that's fine, but you can't hang around the building once you've completed your assessment. So looking at the receptive assessment now. Just for 20 minutes, that's all, the exam. So, just want to explain that you will have a practice soon for this assessment. So you need to pass 67% to to achieve this. But that's high. Well, yeah, that's quite right, but that's what it's like. So you can have a look what it's like in a minute and have a practice and see how you found it. The next one is you describing, you signing, and me asking questions or clarifying, and that's one-to-one. You've already been given those sheets, haven't you, with the topics to pick? You've had those, haven't you? So have a think about it, and you pick which one you would like to talk about. Obviously we have to record it because it's an assessment, and that's how we gather our evidence. I'll be marking it myself, and then I'll send it off to iBSL for them to clarify that I've marked it correctly, and then they'll pass you or fail you. If I feel that you need to do it again before I send them off for some weakness there, I will let you know, okay, so you can come in and have another go before I post it. So that's your personal everyday activities. You can talk about what you like. 2 or 3 times I will interrupt you, each one of you. I will interrupt to clarify. Don't panic. Don't think it's because you're not doing it right. I have to do it. It's part of that criteria. I have to interrupt you and clarify things and ask you questions. You have to do that. So just 1 or 2 points, so I won't be doing too many. For example, business or business, 2 different signs there. Maybe I'll say, oh, that's a different sign you've used for business. Maybe you've learned that from another place, you know, that different sign for business. And I'll have noticed it, and then that ticks that box then, asking for clarification. 5 to 8 minutes, that conversation. And I'm responsible for checking the time, not you. I'll put the timer on and we'll go from there. And I'll show you an example of that conversation. No, I don't want you to question me in this particular assessment. I will question you, but you don't question me. This is you giving your production of sound. The next one is the conversation. Productive and receptive again. That's you signing, productive. And receptive means you understanding me. That you understand my signing. You need to choose both those skills in this, productive and receptive. There are 7 performance criteria, and I will give you those later on to have a look at. They're very simple. And at the same time again, 5 to 8 minutes. So that's us two having a conversation, both of us. Camera again. So you need to make sure that you're aware of what these 7 criteria are, so you can think about covering them really. Number 1. So this one we need to show that you can produce your sign language and understand sign language. So you have already learned a wide range of vocabulary. You know, obviously, you know, you're not going to remember them all, but you have learned a lot, so don't worry about that. Your feelings. That's nice to show how you feel about something. And that's your polite conventions there that they were just showing you there. Facial expressions are very important. And you know, you all do that really well. I agree, or I don't agree, or let's have a really sort of look. Number 2, numbers. We need to use numbers. Time, money, when something happened, dates, this week, yesterday. So if you see, you know, if you can use numbers, just a few, and no, that's enough. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to do money and ages and everything. Just put some numbers in. It's only for 5 minutes. If there's nothing, no mention of any numbers at all, because I'll have to give it a 0. So please try and include numbers somewhere along the line. Number 3. I've got a handout with this, so don't worry about remembering it. So we need to think about positive and negative questioning. There could be maybe even a bit of a challenge. You know, I know that in break time you're always having these sort of debates out there, and that's what we could cover. You must use your clear handshakes, clear BSL handshakes. Appropriate ones, right ones. Pointing, referencing, eye contact. For example, your own or their own business. No, you can't. Obviously, you can't say their own business down there or up in the sky. You've got to have your directional verbs in the right place. I've been checking your finger spelling this evening, and it's been lovely and fluent. But of course it does depend on your topic as well, and you know, you will be including some finger spelling. Just 3 or 4 letters is enough. Not great long words, but if you can, you know, include short names into your story or your conversation, that will tick some more boxes for you. For example, do you want to play tennis? That's what it's like. It's turn taking. We're taking turns in sign language. I don't want to be doing all the hitting and you're not responding. Just getting yes or no's. I want to draw it out of you. I don't want to be having to do that. I want a natural conversation. Very rare really, this. Like, you know, maybe you've got a different sign. Twins. Or twins, I've seen twins done like that. That's a different way to sign twins. And twins, like you say, it's a different one there. So, where have you had that one from? Oh, the person who worked told me. And that's what that is. And that is rarely used, really. If I see it, great, I'll tick it, but you don't need that one. If there's nothing, it doesn't matter. But sometimes, occasionally, these different signs crop up. So number one, receptive and productive is mandatory. If there's nothing, if you can't understand me, you know, some people can do beautiful production of BSL, but they can't understand it. You need to be able to show both. And the pass mark is 21. So I will just give you some examples of that.
Out of 21 out of 21 points out, is like out of 50, or do you start and then get knocked out?
Oh, I'll stay with that.
Sorry, it's a bit too much to us that one, isn't it?
Okay, so if you see this 5, 2, 3 points here, if you had all of them 5 points, you would altogether get 35 points. If you had, you know, if you got 5 in each column, you'd get 35 points. So maybe you'll only get 3 in some column.
Yeah.
As long as altogether it adds up to 21. That's okay. So example, David just saying now, so maybe you'll get 3 in each one. There's your 21 points. So it's okay, you know, you've got it, but you know, it'd be nice to have a few 5s as well. Get a couple of 5s and a few 3s. If you can get 5, 5, 5, brilliant. You know, but if you can't, if you get a mixture, it's not too bad really. So you get 15 points for using numbers, receptive and productive. Is that okay? Is that clear? Yeah? So take that home and have a look at it.
Will we get feedback?
will copy it, and I will give you. Yes. Okay. So I will give you a copy of the of that, and I will obviously send off the original one to the awarding body. And it's my decision. And maybe if you ask me why, well, why have you only given me this certain percentage for this certain mark for this particular thing, and I can explain to you why I did. Are there any questions about that?
Is that going to be the once it's been sent off and it's been assessed, or is that?
You mean you get it handed back?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Probably the week after, the following week, I will give it back to you then. Okay, so David's saying the 67% is for receptive, the 21 points are for the productive, and the conversation and the story. So Andrew's asking, when will we know really, when we've passed the performance criteria? And I'm quite satisfied. I know, I'm an assessor myself, so I know, that it's pretty much okay in my opinion. If I'm really concerned, then I will make an arrangement to do the assessment with you again.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, Andrew's just saying that there's been such a delay with intro, you didn't know whether you passed or not. Yeah.
Still don't know.
Well, I can assure you all have. But the certificates, they are on their way. They are very slow at going. Definitely not.
So we know on the night we've done it.
You won't know that night.
Next week.
David will look at the video that he's recorded you. We'll check it against that. If he's worried, he'll let you know and ask you to come back and try it again. If you hear nothing,
Next week.
you can be pretty confident it's all right, okay? But obviously, officially, we have to wait for iBSL to inform us.
Yes.
But being an assessor himself, you know.
So if it's like I've rubbish today,
Yeah.
next week.
He'll let you know. We'll give you a ring and say, can you
So
pop
you've got
in?
like a second shot at it.
Yeah, so can you pop in and have a go at this?
That makes you feel better. Thank you.
So Andrew's saying that if you pass one and pass that one and pass that one but fail that one, you don't have to take again the two that you've passed. You only have to do the one that you failed. Okay. And then when you passed all the three, you get your certificate from them. The certificate won't come for about 8 weeks' time. Sometimes they do come a bit earlier, but it's usually about 8 weeks. If you fail all three, well, that's a bit of a concern really. But you will get the opportunity to resit one or two.
If you fail, say, one part and you're keen to do the next course,
Right.
is there an opportunity between then and the next course to do it again?
No. The college welcome people, to progress and come along, and we'd give you the opportunity to resit that one that you failed sometime during the next course. There won't be a problem with that. No, you don't have to have passed all of them to progress to the next level. So there's conversation, production. If you fail the production, you can do that again. You don't have to pay. Receptive, and unfortunately you do, because I have to, David doesn't mark the receptive one, that one gets sent away. I've got to have a very good idea, obviously, whether people have passed it or not. I know myself really whether somebody's over 67% most of the time, but I can tell you about those first two, the story and the conversation, I know, and I'll give you the opportunity to resit. But receptive, obviously we have to get a new DVD as well. But I have to wait to confirm that I'm right, obviously, before I can make any announcement, if you like.
Passion.
On David or on you?
Well, it's like opportunity.
Okay. So, I'd like you to look now at this DVD and have a practice at this assessment. I want to show you the answer paper, what it's like. This is just a practice. It's from an old assessment. The story will be told in full, first of all, right the way through. And then we go back, and they do part one. And I'll ask you 3 questions. Then you do the second part of the story, 3 questions again, and so on. 4 times that will happen. If it's small, I will maximum.
Are we doing this, Paula? Are we doing this?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have any go?
Yes.
So I've got a
You
pen.
need a pen.
Yeah.
Look. Anybody need a pen? Who needs a pen?
Yes, you want?
Do you guys need a pen?
So it
I've got one in here somewhere.
Sorry. Just move.
Right,
Go for it.
green on Friday?
No, no, it's fine.
It's like, you know, when some people scratch on you, go right through the same as that. Actually, the worst thing is pot styling. You get used to it, but it's just...
So watch it. Trying to make it easy for you. Don't try and write down at the same time. Forget writing for the moment. Just watch it. Watch it in full. Then when you've got the understanding of it, on the second viewing, watch it all the way through again on the part 1. And you'll know what 3 questions that you to be looking for there. Look for those questions. When you caught them, don't write them down there and then. They're going to give you time. You'll have 15 seconds to tick the boxes. And then the second time again, they will give you time. So don't go panicking and trying to look right when this person's signing, because you'll miss it. You're not allowed to talk during this. Just concentrate. But, so now, that was the full one, so now you watch the first part and answer those questions that she's going to ask you. So be prepared to look for those questions that you're going to get asked. Okay. So now part 2, you can look at the 4, 5, 6 for that before it starts. Now the third view. Look at the questions.
Right.
So, the camera, when I checked it against the building,
Whoever's last